There is a sound most people never notice. The sound of a child sitting at an empty desk, waiting to learn from a book that doesn't exist. It isn't dramatic. It isn't loud. It's just silence. And in rural Zambia, that silence fills more than 1 million classrooms. This is the story of how some of those classrooms finally found their voice. Imagine this. It's 5:30 in the morning and the sun hasn't risen yet. A young girl, her name is Memory, wakes up in a small village in Zambia's southern province. She doesn't eat breakfast. There is none. She doesn't put on shoes. She doesn't own any. But she walks 5 kilometers every single day. She walks past maize fields still heavy with dew. Past neighbors who shake their heads wondering why she bothers. She walks to a school with 4 teachers for 200 students. A school with crumbling walls and no electricity. A school where 50 children share one battered textbook. And still she walks. Because Memory understands something statistics can never hold. A book isn't just paper and ink. A book is proof that your dreams are not impossible. But here is the heartbreaking truth. Memory School has no books beyond the textbooks. No stories. No adventures. No windows into lives beyond her village. No proof that a girl like her could ever become more than what everyone assumes. And Memory is not alone. Across rural Zambia, more than 1 million children attend schools just like hers. Schools with no libraries and no stories to guide them forward. But in 2012, in one of Lusaka's poorest neighborhoods, something extraordinary appeared. A library. Not a shelf in a corner. A real, beautiful, child-centered library built for the community. It was called the Lubuto Library. 2 women made it possible. Jane Kinney Myers, an American librarian, and Sidia Katanekwa, a Zambian social worker who grew up in poverty herself. Their idea was simple and radical. What if poor children were treated the same way society treats wealthy ones? What if they were given beautiful spaces, thousands of books, and the message, "You belong here"? On opening day, children lined up before dawn. Some had walked for over an hour. Some carried younger siblings on their backs. Some stood at the door afraid to enter because they had never seen a library before. When the staff invited them in, a small boy whispered, "Is this for us?" Yes. It was. Inside, the library came alive. Children sat cross-legged on colorful mats. Some read silently. Some read aloud to friends who couldn't yet read themselves. Near the window, a 7-year-old girl sat curled into a beanbag chair. She was reading a book in Nyanja, her mother tongue, a story about a girl who becomes a scientist. A volunteer noticed tears on her cheeks and asked softly, "Are you okay?" The girl looked up and whispered, "I didn't know there were books about girls like me. I didn't know I was allowed to be in books." Word spread quickly. Children began walking from even farther away, 10, sometimes 15 kilometers, just to touch those stories. Within 2 years, the Lubuto Library was serving over 1,000 children every day. But one library wasn't enough. In 2015, an organization called Room to Read partnered with the Zambian government and made a bold commitment. They would not only donate books, they would publish them. Publish them in Zambia, in Zambian languages, written by Zambian authors. Because if you hand a child in rural Zambia a story about a kid in London, they don't see possibility. They see distance. But when the story is in Bemba or Tonga, and the character walks the same dusty paths they do, that is when magic begins. Between 2015 and 2023, Room to Read built more than 300 school libraries, published 500,000 books in 7 local languages, and trained thousands of teachers in literacy education. And still the children kept coming. But some villages were simply too remote. So another idea rolled into place, the book bus. Old buses were transformed into mobile libraries, painted bright blue and yellow, filled with hundreds of books, and driven into Zambia's most forgotten corners. Every 2 weeks, the book bus arrived at a rural school. Children heard the engine from half a kilometer away and began to run. Teachers said it was the only day every student arrived on time. The bus parked beneath a tree. The doors opened. And for 4 hours, children sat in the red dust, reading as if their futures depended on it. Because in many ways they did. The years passed. The children grew up. And many of them returned. One of them was Bridget. In 2008, she was a quiet girl from a village outside Lusaka. She found a small community library program and read everything she could find. She read under kerosene lamps at night. She borrowed books until the pages tore at the edges. And she dreamed carefully, quietly of becoming a teacher. By 2019 she was 1. Today Bridget teaches at a primary school in Lusaka. Every Saturday, her only day off, she runs a volunteer reading program for children who remind her of her younger self. When asked why she gives up her weekends, she said, "Because I remember what it felt like to hold a book and think maybe I matter. Maybe my story matters too. I refuse to let any child wonder otherwise." And she is not alone. Across Zambia, former library users have become teachers, university students who tutor younger readers, and parents who read bedtime stories, breaking cycles of illiteracy that stretched back generations. But this is not a fairy tale. Even today, most rural schools still have no libraries. Hundreds of children still share a single book. Education budgets remain strained. The work is far from finished. And yet, more than 50,000 children now have access to books where none existed a decade ago. Hundreds of community libraries have been built, not just by outsiders, but by Zambian teachers, parents, and activists who refuse to let their children grow up surrounded by silence. Now let me return to memory, the girl who walked 5 kilometers to a school with no books. 3 years ago, the book bus began visiting her village. Last year, a small permanent library was built there, funded in part by international donors, but constructed entirely by community members who offered their labor for free. Memory is 14 now. She still walks 5 kilometers to school. But today she carries something new, a borrowed book. Last month, when a visitor asked what she wanted to be when she grew up, Memory smiled and said, "A writer. So other girls like me can see themselves in stories." A book is not just a book. To a child in rural Zambia, it is a promise. Your voice matters. Your language matters. Your dreams are not impossible. The children are still walking. Some walk 5 kilometers. Some walk 10. Some walk barefoot through the rain. Because they know that at the end of the road there is a library. Maybe it's made of brick. Maybe it's painted onto the side of a bus. Maybe it's just a tin-roofed room with 100 well-loved books. But it is there. And it is theirs. Memory is walking home right now. The sun is setting over the maize fields. She's tired. Her feet ache. But tucked beneath her arm is a story about a girl who becomes a doctor. Tonight, after helping with dinner after her brothers fall asleep, she will sit beneath a flickering kerosene lamp and read. Proof that she matters. Proof that her story is worth telling. Proof that someone believed she deserved more than silence. This is not the end of the story. This is only the beginning. Thank you for listening. You've been with Lunabooks.